as a teenager, you don't really understand the meaning of God. And if you do, it's because you grew up in the church, or your parents taught you from a young age and you grew up in it, learning what, who God is and what he does for you. But when I was younger, as a young teenager, I had no clue. Yes, I went to church, but my mom is a woman of God now, but she wasn't back then. And she'll tell you herself. And even though she thought she was, she wasn't. And many of us think we are, and we're not. I am now, but I thought I was back then, and I absolutely wasn't. I knew who God was. I knew who Jesus was. I knew he existed, because I was supposed to. I grew up in a church. I went to church in Brooklyn. I went to Hezekiah Walker Love Fellowship Tabernacle. And even my mom today says he taught very well, but she was one of the people that partied on Saturday and went to church on Sunday, And so I didn't know any different. And as I think about now who I am, the woman of God that I am now, there's no way that you can't tell me that Jesus is not real, or God is not real, or there is not someone covering me and who knew that I would become the woman that I am today. As a teenager, young and dumb, I was out there. I was a hoe. Okay? I was out there. I can still count on my hands how many people I've been with, but I was out there. And the many times that I was out with my friends and came home late, disobeyed, snuck out the house, doing things that I wasn't supposed to do at a young age, coming home, walking. I lived in Bushwick. So I walked from the L train all the way to my street, which was like a good mile or two in the dark, by a high school that had a park that was also always dark in Brooklyn. There's no way that you can't tell me that my God was not covering me the whole time, even before I knew who he was, even before I was a true child of God. I could have died in my sin. I could have been raped. I could have been stolen. I could have been taken. I could have been beaten. Anything could have happened to me from walking from the L train on Myrtle Avenue to where I lived. Anything in the dark at night. It's sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning. God had his hand on me that whole time. And I think about it now, as the person I am now, and I cry and I thank God for keeping me. Because you hear so many stories of things like that happening to women for less. For just walking out of the grocery store. For just coming out of their own home and getting into their car in a parking lot 2 feet away from their apartment. I walked at least a mile from the L train to my house. And I did it multiple times in my sin, while I was in my sin. And God kept me. He kept me. You hear me? So many things could have happened. And I lived in the hood. And I'm here today at 34 years old. There's no way that you can't tell me God is real. There's no way. So I'm going to go hard for Jesus Christ until the day I die. And I pray to God that he pulls me up. And either if I'm dead and he pulls me up, or if I'm still alive. And I pray to God that he brings me into the air with him. Because I've repented. I've been baptized, like I told y'all, twice. I'm doing everything I got to do. I've repented for all my past sins. There's no way you can tell me that my God is not real and that he didn't have his hand on me because he knew one day I would come home to him. Anyways, if anybody has a story like that, I have more, but that's what sticks out the most to me. I advise you to please turn from your wicked ways. Seek God, because if you die in your sin, it's a wrap. It's over. And you think think of the worst thing that you've ever been through, and imagine going through that for eternity. when you think it's over, it's never going to be over. That's what eternity means. Anyways, I love y'all. Be blessed.